I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at the age of 21 years old, January of 2000. You know what's crazy? Actually, January 2025 is exactly 25 years of being under managed care with type 2 diabetes. 25 years, 25 years of appointments, 25 years of medications, and 25 years of following their advice. And I thought I was doing the right thing. And I want to be totally clear and transparent. This video is not to bash doctors, it's not to bash nutritionists or dietitians. And if you're watching this, I'm not telling you to ignore medical advice. I just want to make this video because, I spent 25 years under the system thinking it knew more than what I do. Because I trusted the doctors, the nutritionists, and dietitians, because in my mind, they went to school and they studied for this. So to me, that's what they were trained for. So I just thought I would take their advice and go along like I need to. And I always thought eventually things would get better, but they never did. Behind the scenes, my body was still breaking down. My energy was fading. My mental clarity was deteriorating. My health was moving in the direction that I didn't understand. And then came the complications with the foot ulcers. And that part still hits me pretty hard. Because, like a lot of people hear type 2 diabetes and they just think it's about blood sugar numbers. But when you live with it long enough and you don't truly understand what's happening beneath the surface, it can start stealing pieces of your life. Like your energy, your confidence, your circulation, your limbs, your feet, even your peace of mind. See, I got foot ulcers that were so serious, they were on the verge of sepsis. And the scariest part is, I couldn't see how bad it was really getting because my mental clarity was deteriorating also. And that's hard to explain unless you personally lived it. You think you're handling it. You think you're just pushing through. You think, I'll just deal with it. In our reality, my body was warning me and my mind was too cloudy to understand how bad the warning had gotten. Those ulcers almost took me out twice. Almost lost my life twice. And when something like that happens, it changes you because you start asking questions that you should have asked years earlier. And it's not just, what medications do I take, doc? What I should have asked, why is this happening to my body in the first place? What is my body trying to tell me? What do I not understand yet? And what have I been trusting without questioning? And the honest truth is, before January 2025, I didn't know much about what I talk about now. I wasn't teaching about insulin resistance. I wasn't teaching about fatty liver. I wasn't teaching about food order. I wasn't breaking down fasting windows or blood sugar spikes or cravings or energy crashes or how the liver is connected to all of it. I didn't know. I was like most of you. I was like most people. I just didn't know. I thought type 2 diabetes was something you just had to manage. Go to all these appointments, take these medications, follow their advice, just push through it, and that would be enough. But after almost losing my life twice, I realized something. Managing something is not the same as understanding it. And that was the big slap in my face, the big wake-up call I got. January 2025 became this big circle of moment of hope for me. 25 years after being diagnosed, I finally took the step and became my own health advocate. That's when I started the protocol. That's when I started the learning. That's when I started asking better questions. I started studying insulin resistance, fatty liver, blood sugars, food order, fasting, cravings, overall metabolic health. And for the first time, I actually started seeing how it all connected together. The belly weight, the blood sugar swings, the cravings, the brain fog, the low energy, the liver, the insulin signal. It wasn't just something random. My body wasn't failing me just for no reason. It was trying to get my attention for years, and I just didn't know how to listen. And that's why I talk about this now. It's not because I have it all figured out, because I don't. And it's not because I'm better than anybody, because I'm not. And it's not because I'm anti-doctor, because I'm not. I actually work with some very smart doctors. I talk about this because I know what it feels like to be the strong guy on the outside while your body is falling apart on the inside. And I truly know what it feels like to trust everyone else with your own health while not understanding what's truly happening inside your own body. I know what it feels like that discipline should be enough, but still feel like you're losing ground. And I also know what it feels like to almost wait too long. That's why the metabolic rebuild matters to me. It's not just about content. It's not just another topic, and it's not just another health page. This is personal. I had to rebuild because my life forced me to. I had to stop being passive. I had to stop assuming that someone else was going to connect every dot for me. I had to become my own health advocate, and I really wish I would have done it sooner. I wish I would have asked better questions sooner. I wish I would have understood fatty liver sooner. I wish I would have understood insulin resistance sooner. I wish I would have understood my body was sending signals before it started screaming at me. But I can't go back. All I can do now is tell the truth on what happened and maybe help somebody pause for a moment before they get to the place that I almost got to. Because sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do for your health is assume that everything is fine just because you're being managed. Remember, a prescription is a subscription. For 25 years, I was being managed, but in January 2025, that's when I started learning how to rebuild, and that has changed everything. And don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for the care that has kept me here, but I also realized managed care is not the same as me understanding my own body.